everyone, and right now I'm at the China International Exhibition Center, and right now this week the second China International Supply Chain Expo is undergoing here, and the show was began on the 26th. In the previous 3 days are the professional days. From today should be the first day of the public days. So today we would like to invite you to join us to have a tour in this show. So for this exhibition, it has divided into 6 theme halls. So today we should begin from the Clean Energy Hall. And for this today's visit, we also would like to introduce one of my good friends, and he's also an expert in the energetic. Chang, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you again.
Thanks for your time to join us.
My pleasure.
So would you mind to say hello to the audience?
Hello, my name is Chuck Brown. Nice to meet everyone.
So Chang has been working in China for more than 30 years, right?
20 years in China.
More than 20 years,
yes.
About 30 years in the engineer industry.
Right, yes.
So today we will have a tour in the clean energy. So what's your understanding of the clean energy? Why is it important for the development of our Earth?
Well, you know, if you look at the carbon emissions goals that we need to have to reduce and prevent global warming, everything we can do to from an energy standpoint, because the world runs on energy, everything we can do to reduce the carbon footprint is necessary. There's many different ways to go about doing that, and you know, it's all evolving technology, all designed to hit the goals that our various governments have put out to try and achieve the reduced carbon.
Yes. So today in this show we will see a lot of new advanced technologies and also some new achievement in the clean energy industry. So let's
Yes, it's very exciting. Let's have a look.
So what's your first impression about this exhibition hall? The decoration, the color.
Oh, this is
it's green and blue,
yeah.
so I think they are all the colors of the plants and also the sky and the ocean.
Yes, it's all designed with the theme of, you know, clean environment in mind. And this exhibition, out of all the many I've been to over the years, this is a very high-level exhibition. I know that the government here has a lot of aspirations and hopes for this thing to become bigger and bigger.
So look at here, and in this exhibition stand it says the cleaner energy, better life. So let's go inside to
Sure.
see how they could get cleaner energy. So what's your understanding of the cleaner energy? Because just now you mentioned the traditional energy we usually derived from the fossil.
Yes. Well, my background historically has been in the petroleum equipment industry, the fuel dispensing side of things, and it's all geared around oil and gasoline and other fossil fuels to drive vehicles.
So here, for example, it looks like a traditional gas station,
yes.
But here it says about hydrogen.
Hydrogen, yes.
So I suppose it's the station of the hydrogen.
Yes, this will be a station of the future, so it's actually going to be using hydrogen-fueled vehicles versus internal combustion engines or versus traditional electric vehicles.
But I'm afraid I can't agree with you. I don't think that's for the future, it's for right now. Because right now in Beijing, we have already have this kind of hydrogen gas power station.
Yes, it's a developing and evolving technology, and you know, it's got a very bright future.
So look at here. Here is a video.
Yes.
It's a video room because it has created a scenario for us to have a good experience about how this hydrogen gas could help us in the future's life. So for example, I suppose it says in the future we could have the electric vehicles which is powered by the hydrogen.
Yes.
And in the other parts, what could we use for about hydrogen?
Well, hydrogen is used in many different aspects of the chemical production throughout the world for a long time.
Not just
The
for
new,
transportation.
the new applications are developing hydrogen as a fuel source for for passenger vehicles and for long haul trucks, and also for energy storage. To back up the grid.
So here, I have a question for you because I learned two words. Because right now, this as in China, right now the majority of the hydrogen is the green hydrogen.
Yes.
And right now we are producing or creating a scenario for the green hydrogen.
Yes.
So what's the differences between green one and the green one, and
Okay.
which is better?
So historically, hydrogen has been extracted and produced using what is called gray hydrogen technology. It's basically using, because the process uses a lot of electricity, gray hydrogen is derived from electricity that's generated by coal or other fossil fuels.
So maybe we could start from this sand
Yes.
table model, so it could be more vividly. So I
Okay.
suppose this one it shows a project from the Xinjiang Ural part.
Yes.
So from here, I suppose is just now you mentioned something about how we generate the electricity from the renewable resource.
Yes.
This is the wind power, and this is the
photovoltaic, yes.
Photovoltaic. So, do you have a impression about Xinjiang? Have you ever been there before?
Yes, I have been to Xinjiang.
So I suppose you know why we have so large, quite huge area of the solar panels there.
Yes, Xinjiang enjoys 8 to 9 hours a day of sunshine on average. So it's the perfect place to
So we
employ
just make food use of
photovoltaics.
the
Sunshine,
lights.
and also wind power
So
to create the electricity that's needed to extract hydrogen from or to separate.
So here, I suppose that from here, this shows how we produce the electricity.
Yes.
And then we could go there. So let's move there. So
yes.
So I suppose they transport the electricity here, and then in this area we could use the
Electrolysis.
electrolysis.
Yes.
Electrolysis, that means we use the electrolysis methods to split the oxygen and hydrogen.
And yeah, you split, use an electrolysis process to separate the hydrogen molecules and oxygen molecules from water. Mm-hmm. And then from that you create a hydrogen gas.
Mm-hmm. So here is a pipe. So I suppose they just produce the hydrogen and then it could transmit it by those pipes.
Yes.
But how what's the major or the key technologies we used in this process?
Well, hydrogen gas, once it's extracted, is very low density, and from an energy standpoint, it has very low efficiency. So to gain efficiency, you have to compress it so that you can transport it and also extract enough energy to make it beneficial or make it efficient enough to actually justify the cost. So you have
compressor is the key technology
yes.
for the hydrogen industry because
Yes.
it can help is more safety and efficient in transportation and storage.
Yes.
So I suppose in that area is for the storage of the hydrogen.
Yes.
And here is the gas station.
Right.
So here I would like to show you one huge element.
Yes. A very big compressor.
Yes, and it's my great honor to tell you this great compressor is the first exhibitor goods or products to enter for this second China International Supply Chain
Yes.
Expo.
Yes. And this isn't just a normal compressor because hydrogen.
This is the normal one, or it is much huger than
well,
the
this is huge,
one?
but it's also specially built to process hydrogen.
Okay.
Hydrogen has some chemical interactions with metals, so this is actually a special material and special construction to be able to process hydrogen.
So just look inside. From the outside, we could see it's just like a box, but inside is very complicated, and it has different kinds of the elements. And I suppose for construct this module, it needs thousands of elements. or parts.
Yes, and special materials, because everything starts to go from low pressure to high pressure. So safety is the highest concern when you develop a compressor system like this.
So it's not just about technology, but it's also about the supply chain. So that means a stable supply chain is very important for the manufacturing industry. Can you say that?
Yes, it is, and within this system, the supply chain begins with the sunshine, and then or the wind power converted into electricity. That's the first ingredient that's needed to actually power this compressor. So, and then from there you output the hydrogen. So the whole supply chain is a big circle until you start to put it in your vehicle.
And for the other part, I should say this kind of supply chain export is very important because it is the first national level exhibition focused on the supply chain internationally.
Yes.
So in this show, what's your impression about this show, and what's the biggest differences from the other exhibitions?
Well, the focus of this, China has for 6 or 7 years has had the China International Import-Export Exhibition in Shanghai. The China International Supply Chain Exhibition, this is the second year in Beijing for that, and it's designed to actually complement the CIIE in Shanghai. They want them to go together. It's like they fit hand in glove with each other. So, as I understand it, the government wants this exhibition. It will become annual. This is the second year, but it will become bigger and bigger as time goes on. Yes, and again, it complements the CIIE because CIIE is all about buying and selling things internationally. This is what it takes to actually produce those things and get them from one point to the other.
And it's including not just the service, technologies, or those equipments altogether.
Yes.
And look, I just noticed in the middle of the stage, it has a status, it's just like a plant. And do you have an idea why they design the stage like a tree here?
Well, trees, produce the oxygen that we breathe. And they also they also absorb the carbon dioxide that the earth creates, and trees alone can't keep up now. That's why we have global warming.
So I was told that this project is very eco-friendly.
Yes, the Kucha project in Xinjiang will actually reduce the carbon footprint by 485,000 tons per year, I believe. That's the equivalent of planting 300,000 trees.
300.
Yes, so we have one tree here in the middle, and this plant can basically do the benefit or do the work of 300,000 trees each year. So.
And before the show, I also did some research, and I have learned that right now China is the #1 green hydrogen producer and users in the world. And actually, because right now we are in Beijing, 2 years ago in the Winter Olympics, and we have put in use of a lot of bus and trucks which are empowered by the hydrogen.
Yes. Yeah, and other countries that are doing hydrogen, the United States is in it a little bit, but in Europe and Japan and South Korea, they're also focusing a lot of technological development to develop the hydrogen market.
But right now I have a question. What's the cost of using the hydrogen vehicles? For example, is it more expensive or is more economic than the petroleum or the electric vehicles?
Because this is the beginning of the technology. Right now, it is more expensive to purchase and to operate a hydrogen vehicle.
So at this stage, it's a little bit expensive.
Yeah, right now, it's roughly twice the cost of a traditional internal combustion engine vehicle. But a hydrogen fueled vehicle actually has fewer moving parts, so over time, its maintenance costs and operating costs will reduce. As the technology develops and comes into the marketplace, those costs will come down. The cost to develop hydrogen the green hydrogen will come down. So right now the market is at about $500 million per year for hydrogen fueled vehicles. By 2029, that's supposed to be about almost $3 billion.
So according to my observation, why we devote so much effort to develop the green hydrogen industry? That's because is more helpful for the sustainable development for the future, especially for the Earth.
Yeah, if you look at... Go ahead.
Because right now I was told that in 2019 we just used maybe 1% energy is the green hydrogen. But we have a determination to increase the objective to 10%, to increase the share to 10% to 2030.
Yeah, and that's 5 years away. So you take a look at what has to happen to increase that. So for example, a hydrogen-fueled vehicle, a car can be driven about 500 to 600 kilometers on one fueling. So if you want to grow the network of using hydrogen-fueled vehicles, you need to grow the network of hydrogen stations. So as more, and right now I think in China there's 138
Yes.
Hydrogen stations.
Because the exhibition is so huge, and especially right now we have a lot of the visitors, so maybe we should to invite our guests or invite our audience to see more, more rooms. So here we have come to another exhibition stand. So in here we would like to show you some new technology.
It's very exciting technologies, yes.
So for example here, in this part, it's a demonstration video of the 10,000 meters vertical trail. Because it's a newly, that's a newly project which is completed in this year, in this April. And why this is important? Because it's the first this kind of project in Asia. So would you mind to tell us something about this kind of project in the US? Do they have the deep earth trail?
Yeah.
Maybe more than 10,000 meters?
I'm not sure how deep they can go. You know, a lot of American oil is produced offshore as well. So I do know they have deep sea drilling capabilities in Europe and in the U.S. That can go down. But I think 10,000 meters, that's more than 30,000 feet for the Americans listening here.
And I think the most important one is because it's vertical.
It's vertical, yes.
And I suppose it's not just for help us to exploit more petrol or fossil energies. The most important one because it can help us to learn more information about the internal of the Earth. So for example, I would like to show you here. So here it shows us the different kinds of stones or fossils from the different depths of the Earth. So for example, here it says this one is from more than 8,365 meters.
Yes.
So I don't know what is it. Maybe it's from it looks like carbon, right?
Yes. So we're learning more about the internal geology of our planet with this deep drill. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then in this part, it's much deeper than that one. So we could learn the structure. It's totally the structure and the material of the stone is totally different from that one.
Yes.
So that's why we say through this kind of project, it can help us to learn more information, to exploit the knowledge about the deep Earth.
Yes, the more we can know about how our Earth works, then the more we know what we need to know to protect it.
Mm-hmm. And then look at here.
Oh, this is a very exciting part for my day today.
Why do you think it's more exciting?
Well, I like robots, and I spent 30 years in the industry of designing and producing the petroleum dispensers. And this robotic technology is coming online here in China and in other places around the world. And it's using artificial intelligence. So if you think about when you go to the gas station to put oil in your car, every car is different, so the gas cap is in a different place. And this uses, basically artificial intelligence to recognize which vehicle, and then it knows where to go to actually open the door to the fuel filler, and also to take away the cap and to fuel it.
So actually, through here we can see that they call it artificial intelligence filling robot.
Yes.
So, have you ever saw that overseas?
Yes, you see, this technology, we started developing it as concepts in the 1980s.
Yes.
But we
I
didn't
mean
have
the
artificial
scenario
intelligence
to
and
put-
vision systems in those years. So with the evolution of the artificial intelligence,
But have
pattern
you seen that
recognition,
put in use?
in industrial settings everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is very common in an industrial setting.
Okay.
It's not so common in gas stations, although there are a few gas stations now that have this in China and in some other places around the
But
world.
I should say it's my first time to see this kind
Yeah,
of
so-
artificial intelligence robot here.
Right.
Because usually the normal one is just like these parts. And from the previous or the traditional ones, we just by the human beings,
Yes.
right? And someone will help you to do the filling process, and we could pay. And we need to pay by the IC cards
card
or something
or
like
credit
that.
card or-
But right now with these kind of artificial ones, and we could just have to order through the application
Yes.
directly, and then you could drive the car. And then you could drive the car directly to here. Just now, as you mentioned, it could sense the cap of the different car
Yes.
models. Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know how they sense?
It's basically vision learning.
Exactly. So maybe we could come here to sit in here. From the other side, here is the camera module.
Yes.
So here it has the camera one and it has the sensor, and it's the 3-dimension sensor, and it could help the system to locate.
Yeah, it knows what model car and it knows where it should go to get to the gas cap.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now this
And here, this is another module. It's called a filling module.
yes.
So you could totally complete directly, automatically.
Yes, and this particular generation of robotics is what makes this possible. Traditionally, industrial robots are very big and very strong. So if you wanted to use them around people, you had to have a cage. This is called a cobot or a
Yes.
collaborative robot, and it's designed to work around people and be safe.
And also the important one is it could sense which type of the petrol
Yes.
or which type of the energy we'd like to add, because from here you could say this is for petroleum, and from the other side it still has the hydrogen ones.
Right, yeah, so you can see it right now. It's got a petroleum nozzle on it.
Yes.
You can also see it dispensing hydrogen. Also, you can see it dispensing a charger to plug up
And
and
it
charge
could select
EVs.
by itself.
Yes.
So, and I would like to tell one information for all of our audiences for this kind of automatic robot filling robot.
Yeah.
It has been put in use in more than 10 cities and provinces in China right now, and especially in Xizang and in Xinjiang, because for the long distance transportation and the trucks, they need to refueling timely.
Yeah, about every 500 kilometers.
Exactly,
Yes.
but if in that draft environment, it's costly to set up a petrol station and have the human beings. So in the future, this kind of automatic filling robots could be used more widely,
Yes.
because it could help people to release the human beings.
Yeah, and if you think about
And
it,
it's more safety, I suppose.
well, it's repeatable, so
It's repeatable,
and it
yeah.
doesn't smoke, so it's
Yes.
it's certainly safe. But if you think about it, in the long stretches of like Xinjiang, where this long desert, if you think about how hydrogen fuel is created, you literally could have a station with solar power and its own small-scale compressor that can be self-contained and be standing in the desert by itself, and you have a robot to do the fueling. So, 15 or 20 years down the future, you'll see something like this to be completely autonomous.
And also because I would like to, going back to the theme of this exhibition, and it's about the supply chain exhibition. So why I would like to emphasize that, because in this show we are not to show the new technologies and new development, but also we create a train for all the industries. So for example, these two parts, they are all something about exploit the new energies.
Yes.
the patrolling or something like that. But in here, in this whole area, and it shows us the related products
Yes.
from the patrolling.
Yeah, from petrochemicals, yes. And they're everywhere in our daily life.
Yes, exactly. So I suppose this one is the new batteries, and we also have this kind of the, how to say that, the
Drone,
drones.
yes.
The drones, because I suppose we could take it up. because for this kind of products, we need new kind of materials, more light.
Yes,
more-
everything has to be lighter, and then the battery efficiency,
And
more
stable.
power, smaller package.
Yes. So we can imagine from one industry, from the drill and to the application scenarios.
Yes.
And for the other products, they are all in one exhibition stand. Have you ever seen that before?
Not quite like this. This is unique because especially the new energy arena or the new energy hall that we have here. In my background is manufacturing, so new energy is rather new in terms of seeing it in the supply. When you think about it from a supply chain exhibition.
And as an engineer, you have been in China for more than 20 years.
Yes.
So would you mind to share with us some your personal experience living in China and how you feel about industry development in China during the past decades?
When I first came to China 20 years ago, when we're talking about energy, rolling blackouts were very common. Not enough electricity to, so one day each week there was no electricity in different parts of the country.
Oh.
So, and now that's not a problem. So China has grown its infrastructure and its grid. From a manufacturing technology standpoint, we've gone from old manual machining techniques to now you go into a factory in China and you'll find the latest in AI machining, the latest in automation. I was in a factory here in Beijing recently that is almost lights out. They produce engines and they almost need no people. So as China moves forward and has labor challenges like every other industrial country, it's being offset by automation.
So here, so here is another stand, and I suppose from here, and it shows us the grid of the electricity. Because right now the electricity cars are very popular, more and more popular, not just in China, but I suppose also in the United States and in the European countries. So the recharge of the electricity car is important.
Yes, it is. And China was probably the earliest major adopter of EVs and EV infrastructure. You can't have EVs unless you have a place to charge them. And I remember 13 or 14 years ago, the central government basically issued a ruling that all new high-rise buildings that are built with parking facilities, they had to have 30% of their parking spaces had to be equipped to charge EVs.
Oh,
because they saw
30%.
30%.
That's
And this
required.
was 15 years ago. So that the EV, that was basically laying the groundwork for the infrastructure we have today. And other countries have been a little slower to adopt, and mainly because the infrastructure just isn't there yet. China's got, I think, a big jump on infrastructure, and that's
So
what's
for example,
made EV adoption.
this is the new generation of the recharger pillar.
Yes, it's all about speed now. So before you could, it would take several hours to charge a vehicle. Now it's minutes.
So here, according to the explanation, it says in 10 minutes, and it could recharge for the car, enable the car to drive more than 400 kilometers.
Yes.
Just in 10 minutes.
Yes. So the fast charging technology has been developed in also at the same time as improved battery technology. So batteries have the ability to be charged faster. So the charging systems are keeping up with that. And also batteries, the lithium-ion batteries today are much more compact. You can store more energy in less space. So that makes them less heavy. And also they have longer life. And that's all about materials research.
So look, Because just now you mentioned something about the share of the electricity car pillars, and here it is just a map. It shows the intelligent, monitoring grid of the electricity. And it could show us today in one city how many recharging pillars we have and how much kilowatts has been used
Yes.
to recharge the electric vehicles. And also it has the list of in which province it has more applied to the EV cars.
Okay.
So with this kind of intelligent monitoring grid, I suppose it could also help us to use the electricity and energy more efficiently.
Yes. And you know, and if you look at that map and you see all of the green areas where you have the EV charging concentrations, that's where your EV vehicle market is.
Yes,
but
that's it.
you also see green dots, you know, in Western China, it's growing.
So I suppose through this simple tour in the green energy exhibition hall, you have got a basic sense and basic information about how the supply chain export works, because it's not just to create a scenario to show or to express the new technologies, but also tells us how the industry works altogether.
Yes.
And how to bring the industries, the suppliers, and the producers, manufacturers all together. So today the show will be till to the end, but 30 minutes later we will bring you to have another tour in another exhibition hall.